Shannon, how impressive was Rodgers last night?
This was very impressive. This might have been one of his more impressive performances, given the circumstances. This is why he's regarded as the best and best quarterback in.
He is not. How can you say that? Nobody thinks that.
It's not your
Nobody
turn.
thinks. I'm not going to let you get away with that. Go ahead.
When you get your opportunity, you can refute what I said. But can you please not
you got to
interrupt me?
stop it like the world thinks he's the best. The world doesn't think that. The world knows.
This is why he's regarded as the best quarterback in football, not the most accomplished. That belongs to the guy up in New England. But if someone would have gone to Aaron Rodgers the day before and says, Aaron, we're going to need you to be perfect in the second half. He's like, perfect in the second half? That's no problem. I've been perfect for a ball game, let alone just one half of football. Yes, we want you to be perfect. You're going to have to be perfect in the second half. And we're going to take one of your greatest assets away from you, and that's your mobility. That's your ability to move in and out of the pocket and throw the football accurately. And 4 drives in the second half, field goal, TD, TD, TD. 17 of 23, 273, 3 touchdowns in the second half. One of those incompletions was a throwaway, Skip. Skip, this is what makes him so dangerous, because the Bears knew he couldn't move. He knew he couldn't move, and he still found a way to get the job done. Let me ask you a question, and you can answer this if you feel free. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we tell Tom Brady, you know what? In the second half of a ball game, you will not be able to throw the ball from the pocket. You must be rolling to your left or to your right, and you're going to be down 20 points. You think you see that, Tom?
You don't want me to unleash it. I want you to just I'm going to give you one break today, and it's right here, right now. You better finish before I unleash.
There's no question in my mind. Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back in that game, Jenny. They're not winning this ball game. But there's something to be said. I played with a guy in John Elway, and I know what it's like to be down going into the fourth quarter. And no matter how bad we had played up until that point, if we were in striking distance and John was our quarterback, we felt we can come back and win. And you could see, all right, completion here, completion there. But if you notice, Skip, they started the second half. Everything was quick. They wanted to see how the Bears were going to attack Aaron Rodgers. I would have heated him up, because I know he's limited. There's a reason why he only played a handful of plays in the first half. So I'm going to heat him up. But they didn't. They sat back there. They rushed their 4. He went quick, and then Mike McCarthy's like, hold on. They're not bringing pressure. They're going to give us an opportunity to get the ball further down the field. And that throw to Geronimo Allison, I don't believe there's another quarterback that could have made that throw like he made it. He did what we call turning the ball over. As a punter, you punt the ball, it goes up, and then it dives down. He throws the ball like that, almost like a Hail Mary, Skip. Man, that old long handoff. He was perfect last night. He had to be perfect. And we're going to talk about another segment maybe in the very near future. Aaron Rodgers' QBR was 44. That's what his QBR was.
That's not that great. It's 0 to 100. That's sub 50.
Guess what? In Case Keenum threw 3 picks, his QBR was higher than Aaron Rodgers. But that's neither here nor there. In the very near future, we're going to do a segment of.
Aaron.
Skip, whoa, Skip. It's not your turn. You said you were going to unleash later. So it's my time. Can I unleash? I didn't ask you.
Did he not?
No, I didn't. I told you. I'm talking
falling out of his seat.
No. I will let you unleash in a minute. This is my time to heap
You better
praise.
get it all out.
This is my time.
You're about to get
this
nuked.
is my time to heap praise on Aaron Rodgers, who's the greatest quarterback currently playing in the National Football League. Not the most accomplished, but just the best. And you saw that on full display. And Skip, this game would have gotten lost had it been, unless it was a standalone. This game needed to be in prime time. This game needed to be by itself, so everybody could witness to see what Aaron Rodgers was capable of.
Witnesses.
I know what he was capable of. Now you too know what he's capable of.
He's trying to kill the clock.
I ain't killing no clock.
Talking with a bunch of garbage.
Aaron Rodgers already did that. Aaron Rodgers already did that last night.
Okay.
He killed the clock.
My turn? Thank you. So, Jenny Taft, before I say what I'm about to say, I want to make something very clear. I tweeted this at this moment that Aaron Rodgers went out of the game early in the second quarter last night. It would have been terrible for the National Football League if Aaron Rodgers had been lost for the season. He is crucial to the ratings, to the overall presence of this league. And in order, the 3 most valuable players TV-wise in this league are that guy up in Foxborough, then Aaron Rodgers, then Drew Brees. So it was heartening to me. I was excited when he actually stepped back onto the football field to start the second half. It was a great moment. It wasn't a good moment. It was great that he wasn't lost for the year. Now, I'm going to give you some perspective and maybe some objectivity you might not get elsewhere, and you certainly didn't get it from across the table as we opened this show. This was accomplished last night against Mitchell Trubisky's 7-point underdog Chicago Bears. So let's not confuse this with Tom Brady coming from 28-3 down in a Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons. Or for that matter, let's not confuse it with what Tom Brady did in the fourth quarter against the Jacksonville defense in Foxborough.
That was against Blake Bortles.
What's that?
That was against Blake Bortles.
That was against the best defense in most people's eyes in football, down 20-10 in the fourth quarter, and he threw for 138 and 2 touchdowns with 12 stitches in the base of his thumb on his throwing hand. But the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe told me the next Monday after that game, what did you say? If you step onto the football field, there are no excuses. I don't want to hear about any injuries. Didn't you say that? You gave him 0 credit for playing with 12 stitches in his throwing hand. So I'm going to give Aaron Rodgers 0 credit for playing on what was diagnosed as not an injured knee. Aaron said after the game he was completely cleared by the doctor. So he said it can't be hurt any further. So I'm going to have to go one of 2 ways. Either he tore his ACL or one of his CLs, and it was like Phillip Rivers in 2007, who played with a torn ACL and beat Peyton Manning 28-24 at Indianapolis in a divisional playoff game. Remember that? He played with a torn ACL.
Actually, Billy Bowler came in and cleaned the game up, but go ahead.
But do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember.
Who played the AFC Championship game
Phillip
at Foxborough? Phillip Rivers did.
He shouldn't have played, though. Go ahead.
So again, one of 2 things had to happen last night. Did Aaron Rodgers have a torn ACL? I'm going to guess he didn't because it was the opening game of the year. I don't think they would have sent him back in if they suspected he had a torn ACL. So I'm pretty sure the team doctor and the trainers took a hard look at it in the tent and then in the locker room. They got a quick picture of it, not an MRI picture, not a 3D, but a 2D picture of it. And they decided it was just fine. He tweaked it or mildly sprained it. That's all. I'm going to deduce that. Now, if it comes out today or tomorrow that he tore his ACL, then I stand corrected. But I don't think he did any of that. All I know is that we saw Aaron Rodgers have to ride off to the locker room in a cart early in the second quarter. And as we saw him go, if we could watch it again, it looked to me like when he first got in the cart, he gave his head a little shake. And then it looked like he had tears in his eyes. His eyes looked wet to me, like they were glistening, like he thought he was done. So was he more scared than hurt? I don't know. Or is it possible it was LeBron James Memorial, over-the-top, overreaction, melodrama to an injury? Because we've seen LeBron do it a lot of times.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Why do you only do that with Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James?
You know what? They remind me of each other, actually. Because, wait a second, I'm glad you brought that up. Because obviously Tom Brady is Michael Jordan, Aaron Rodgers is LeBron James. That hit me hard last night. I tweeted that and it exploded because that's the truth.
If you don't mind me asking, so how sick was Michael Jordan, the flu game? Was that over the top?
I don't even care.
Oh, but you brought
it up. I haven't brought it up on the show.
So let me ask you a question. Was Tom Brady medically cleared to play?
Yep.
Okay, then. So was Aaron Rodgers. What's the problem?
Well, then don't tell me he's on one leg. I didn't see one leg.
Don't tell me he has a cut thumb.
I didn't say he had a cut thumb. I never said a word about it. I said that next day. I let it go.
But you said it.
He played. And he deserved a table at your restaurant that night because he won. He brought the
back. No, he took the L.
Huh? No, I'm talking about against Jacksonville.
Okay, yeah.
That was pretty great.
Don't do that.
Now, let's get back to what the competition was last night. Again, the Bears were 7-point underdogs with a guy at quarterback I do not respect or believe in Mitchell Trubisky. That's going to be the one thing that drags this team down. But to Mitchell Trubisky's credit, in the first half, he played the game of his life, at least the half of his life. Second half, not so much. Do you realize he threw for a grand total of 62 yards and scored 6 points in the second half? That's the Mitchell Trubisky I know and do not love. Likewise, Khalil Mack played the half of his life in the first half. He was dominating, especially when Deshaun Kaiser came in, but also when Aaron Rodgers was in there. Yes. He was dominating Brian Bulaga. He was terrorizing Aaron Rodgers. That's why his QBR was so low, because the first quarter and change, it counts on the QBR, right?
Yes.
He did play, right?
Yes.
And he was pretty terrible at that point.
But, Skip, you can't tell me a guy that throws 3 interceptions has a high QBR than a guy that throws 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Well, all right, but he wasn't very good to that point. And then what happened in the second half? Khalil Mack either ran out of gas or just got his butt kicked by Brian Bulaga because they left Brian Bulaga in single coverage on him. He single blocked him the whole second half.
Right.
I might have seen a couple of half-hearted chips, but mostly it was just Bulaga against Khalil Mack. And all of a sudden, he disappeared.
Well, he ran out of gas, Skip.
Okay.
He's not in football shape.
I understand, and I didn't think he was going to play that much. I thought it was going to be limited, and he played 70% of the snaps last night. 70%?
And they probably wanted less than 50, I can assure you of that.
Wow. That was 42 plays that he played. And in the end, do you realize the Bears had 0 sacks and 0 quarterback pressures in the whole second half? Aaron Rodgers had nothing but time. And I will give you the throw to Geronimo. It was beautiful. And I'll give you this. Not many could do that. There might be a couple of others who could do that. But that was big time, all time great.